But this is okay. So
I think unaona venye tunaongelea story ya heartbreaks. Ni kitu yenye maybe in this day and age ina affect watu. Ina affect watu sana, especially the youth.
Yeah.
Na I don't know. I feel ndio tumeambiwa tuanze. But tunaanza tukiendelea na story na the introduction. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of At His Feet podcast. This is Steadfast Pursuit, where we not only seek to know God, but also making Him known. This February, we have been looking at the series of godly dating. We were going with the theme of love because of the month of February. And because of that, if you've been following us, we have been structuring our conversations based on different facets of dating. And today we will be looking at heartbreaks. How do you handle heartbreaks? So today we have a very special panel with us who will help us to go through this topic. We have Dr. Koki Kinagwi with us here, and then we have Duncan Kiplimo. These are our experts in heartbreaks today. So, no, experts in terms of like the topic. They are on a heartbreaking spree. So, karibuni sana on set.
Thank you.
Yes, so maybe tuanze na Kiplimo ama Limo. Wase wengi wajua wanakuitanga Al-Qaeda. Tunasema unaitwa Duncan Kiplimo, anaweza shangaa huyu ni nani? Maybe unaweza tuambia something about yourself.
My name is Duncan, but majority of the people wananiita Qaeda.
Qaeda.
Yes.
Yes, karibu sana. Dr. Koki.
Yes.
Maybe introduce. Maybe people need to hear a little something about yourself.
Okay. So I'm Dr. Koki, as mentioned. I'm a medical doctor and public health specialist by profession. I'm a member of aicmilimaniyouth-NRB. I'm part of the counseling ministry in this church and other ministries. And I love interacting with the youth. I'm a wife, mother of a young adult and a teenager.
Nice.
Yeah.
Umesema unajua pia tuko in a day and age ya cancel culture. So sile cancel ya
counseling, the right, helping.
Sile ya major matrax na kigora. Au ndio wanajitanga ya cancel. Yes, so kwa hii topic ya heartbreak, I think before tuanze the recording, kwa nimekuuliza if you have ever been character developed. Ukasema fortunately uli escape hiyo. But maybe nikiangalia now from your perspective, usha develop character?
No, I haven't.
So the first person who came Nairobi.
Well, I think people need to understand. Okay, when you're saying character development, what does it mean? Because I don't think maybe disappointing somebody who had higher expectations for a relationship necessarily is character development. It's maybe how you did it, ending up in the friend zone. Is that really character development, or it's the how it's done? Because those are experiences we go through. So maybe we need to start by saying, mtu akisema amekuwa character developed, what exactly,
Okay, maybe in terms of vile hiyo swali nimeuliza, ni ile maybe you're dating someone, and then at some point, ikabidi this thing imeisha.
Yeah.
So it could be in terms of how you ended your relationship, ama maybe you did something yenye it was ni kama ni betrayal of
Yeah.
that love to that person, and they thought that hapa nimechezwa vibaya sana in that perspective.
Yeah, so you're asking whether I've ever done that or experienced.
Sasa experience umesema wewe hujai experience.
Hapana, sija experience na sijawahi patia mtu hiyo experience.
Acha tuangalie wewe.
Yeah.
Mwingine. Kwanza wewe ume character developiwa.
Hiyo si swali. Nairobi. That's the homecoming. Unafanywa moja
homecoming. So sasa in wakati at what point do you realize that hey, hapa my character has been developed? Ama do you see it coming? Unaona from afar, this is where we are headed. Na it will be bad. Ama unashtukianga tu everything may open up at once. Na una realize at this point now kuna zilitongaji ni mimi sabani kizangla hizi ni zenye unasikianga ati it was at that moment that he realized. So like kama hizo at that moment ndio ka realize hapa ni kwa character development.
Nimepigwa mingi so ina depend.
So sasa kwa hizo nyingi tuseme like one that stood out yenye una feel like because of this if I am getting into a relationship with someone this particular one najua nimeheartbreakiwa before but hii ndio nitakuwa nina look out for wakati nimeingia kwa hii relationship nyingine.
Okay, unajua unaweza pata dem anajua yeye ni player mbaya. So anaweza kumultitask. Kuna moja yenye mimi niliangalia kwa simu nikapata kumbe tuko wengi. Hiyo ilikuwa OG. Nilijifunga on goal kuangalia simu.
Yeah, so that acha sasa tutulize daktari. Daktari sasa wewe kama professional wa counseling.
Yeah.
If people are dating.
Yeah.
Is it venye amesema tu aliangalia tu kwa simu akaona wako wengi. Is it advisable that mnaangalia masimu za watu?
Of course, kuangalia simu za watu means there's an element of mistrust. You're not trusting that person. So you are checking because you are seeing there's some discrepancy. Vile anasema, vile ana act. Something is not well aligned. But then the question is this somebody who is just a friend? Were you expecting more? Because umesema mlijikuta mko wengi. So is this somebody who is just, there is no commitment between the two of you such that where you're looking and seeing so much in this relationship, maybe the other person, for them you're just a friend. So kuna some misalignment somewhere which maybe now led to you feeling, I don't think we are on the same page, ndio sasa ukaangalia simu.
Kuna watu wanasemanga ukitaka relationship yako isimame avoid simu ya mwenzako. Is that something that you can advise watu wenye they are dating?
If you're dating. Yeah, if you're dating, okay, of course there is the openness that you will expect. If you are dating and you're dating with the intention of we love one another and we want to get into marriage, you want to have a family together, you see, that is now where trust begins. So why would you even be so worried about somebody looking at your phone? Unatoka, unaingia bathroom, unakumbuka umeacha simu. If like now for married people, unakuta you are running to get your phone. That's not how it is. Or even if you are dating, you step outside briefly, umeacha simu, unakimbia ndani kuchukua because you don't know who will call. Those kind of scenarios just show that there is no trust. But then at the same time, why are you going? Nini unatafuta kwa hiyo simu? It should just be a gadget that, yes, it's my personal private phone. Of course, everybody has their own private life until you now become one. So of course there's the privacy you will be expecting, but it is not You shouldn't be ile ya mtu akishika hiyo simu, the things that will be revealed.
Groundbreak.
Yeah, you know, but there's I think all of us do expect to have some kind of privacy, but you are private about what? What are you hiding in this phone? If you are ever to get in trouble or ever leave your phone somewhere, can you ask your girlfriend or boyfriend, nilete hiyo simu nilisahau?
Okay.
You know, there's something like that, yeah.
So maybe hata tuseme before dating begins, limo tuseme sasa umeenda umekatia dem, and then amekureject. How soon should you move to, like, you close that chapter and uanze kuangalia mtu mwingine?
Ina depend sana huyo dem.
Dem gani, mwenye amekukataa ama mwenye unaendea?
So obvious ukiapproach dem uko na plan A, B and C. Hii kikataa kwa huyu unaenda plan B. Itajipa tu.
So sasa, okay, so in your perspective, ni kama sasa when you want now to get into the dating scene, for you hauangalii kwanza ati, in as much as of course we advocate for dating one person at a time, not multiple people at a time. So for your case is umeshawapanga, and then sasa unaendea huyu, akikataa you move on, you go to the next.
Unajua nasemanga persistence pays.
Persistence.
So uki keep on pressing itajipa, tutapata ule mwenye ata.
So okay, so hii persistence ni kwa hawa wote ama like huyu wa kwanza mwenye umeanzia?
Ukianza kwa huyu wa kwanza, you change the tactics ukiapproach huyo mwingine.
Okay, what ni different? Daktari, wakati maybe naongea in terms of from a guy's perspective, at what point unaweza feel like hii imeacha kukua persistence, na imeanza kukua ni kama you are being annoying, kwa sababu unasikianga ati maybe ladies wameambiwa wa play hard to get, and then sa ile umeface rejection, at the back of your mind unajiambia, I know that game, they are playing hard
to get,
but maybe they are not, they just don't want you, and then you keep pressing. So I don't know, like at what point do you realize that hapa hii hata si persistence, hii ni kama nimeanza kumwana?
Okay, maybe let me answer it in a slightly different way. You see, before you start dating, you see, you can't just see somebody and like them and decide, I want that person to be my boyfriend or girlfriend. You need to know who the person is. You know, you can love the physical appearance of the person, but you really don't know anything. So where is the room for just casual friendship, getting to know one another before you get to the persistent dating bit?
Na hiyo ukiwa tu hapo, unajua pia kuna ile point yenye watu wanaona mtu anajifanya tu, like I approach a girl, and because I can't ask that girl the first time I'm talking to her to be my girlfriend, we like tutaanza tu kupiga ma story, but I have a target that I want her to be my girlfriend.
Okay.
And then we get to a point where nikimuuliza, then itakuwa this was the plan all along. So you don't want it to come out as this is your aim. Na imeonekana like from the word go.
But why not? You see, okay, what is the intention of dating? You want eventually to get a suitable partner who you will marry, settle down, have a family, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you need to enter the world, so to speak, with an idea of the kind of person you want to have a relationship with, the kind of person you see as my future wife, my future husband. Now there's a pool of people. So you have to start with the pool, sorry. You have to start with the pool, and you start by that friendship, hanging out, talking. You have to talk to many people. You can't just see one person and assume. So once you have in your mind, this is a kind of person, obviously as you interact, you'll start being drawn to a particular person who has those kind of traits. But remember, it has to be reciprocal. You may feel for someone who's not feeling for you. And it's okay because everybody has what?
Taste and preference.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have to be ready to try after seeing and interacting with that person and feeling, you know what, I want to get to know you better because I find you, you know, you're the kind of person I think would be a good person to get to know. And who knows what the future will hold. You see, they need to feel the same way. So it's good not to assume that automatically anyone you like will also like you. Yeah, because even you, the others who will like you and you don't like them, it works both ways. But if you've come from the point of we are just genuine friends, if we move on to the next level, it is okay. If we don't, it is still okay. Yeah, we can still remain friends, lakini hiyo ndio inaitangwa friend zone. Unabakia friend zone.
Hata niulize hiyo nini ya wakati them, no, it may not necessarily be at yeye amekureject. Hata labda ni wewe ndio umemreject. But nonetheless breakup may happen.
Yeah.
Is it practical that sasa mtakuwa tu mabeshte the same way uko when ni best ya another lady mwenye ujai approach? Is it possible?
So unajua ina depend with the deep state of heartbreak yenye either ulisaidiwa kwa kazi ulisleki. So kaa ilikuwa kitu mbaya ilifanya mka break up, hiyo itafanya friendship hata na haiwezi make. So ina depend the scenario lenye ilifanya mkaachana.
So now what happens? Okay, maybe unajua pia kuna watu wenye I have had friends wenye wanaenda kufanya harusi na wanasema fulani asijaribu kukuja kwa hiyo harusi. Like kama mkata security.
You are jahil.
Yeah, I'm a heal, but ana feel like huyo ex wake akikuja kunaweza chacha huko ama labda inaweza mfanya tu akuwe uncomfortable. Okay. So that probably depends on how they broke up. So sasa tuseme when wewe sasa wewe mwenyewe you want a girlfriend. Na the girlfriend is coming from a previous relationship. So nyinyi wote either way tuseme labda hata hujakuwa kwa relationship or you're okay, maybe that doesn't matter, but now for the lady anafaa kukua tuseme amekaa for how long akiwa single ndio tuseme wewe uanze kufikiria ati tunaendelea sasa kudate na wewe. Tuseme ame break up na mtu like what's the time period yenye wewe unaweza feel like ni applicable for you muanze kudate na yeye?
Around 6 months.
6 months. Daktari unaweza
What I would say, hakuna time period. It's a process. You see, if somebody has broken up with you or you've experienced a broken relationship, you have to grieve. There's pain. Yeah? So, and there's anger. Those are human emotions. But you have to work through them. You work through them, you cry, lazima kulia. Because if you really loved that person and really wanted it to work out, and if you knew this is a person, I think I want to have a future with them, you're invested. So if this heartbreak comes in, you break up, there's some rejection or whatever, you will feel that loss. So you must cry, grieve, you must, there's the anger, but you need to also take time and ask yourself, how did we get here? Yeah? Because it's easy to think the other person is the one at fault, but maybe even you, there's something that you may have contributed to the kind of situation. So you think through it and use it as a process of improvement. Maybe utajiuliza anyway, actually, there was something, but I overlooked. But now I know better that I need this kind of a person. So you use it as a learning process. Yes, it was painful, learning. When you will now get to the point where you are healed for you to. So I wouldn't put a time frame to it. I'd say it is a process, because you have to grieve and get out of that one, see what you have learned, and even now start thinking, actually, the kind of person I want is like this. I'm looking for somebody. Then now you start afresh with new eyes, the benefit of that painful experience. You pray, those kind of things.
Ni lazima muumie wote.
No.
Like, kuna watu wasema, break up. Alafu, one party, I think, maybe the one that feels more aggrieved.
Yeah.
Like, and you're not even remorseful. Like,
yeah, no, it's true.
Ujifanye, inaniuma. Nilikuwa nasikiza, kuna mtu alikuwa anasema ati ana watch news and then unajaribu kusympathize na tuseme situation yenye ameona.
Yeah.
Ati an earthquake ili happen wapi
Kaua
and then there
watu.
were this number of casualties. Alafu hapo like I don't feel anything. Like unajaribu kurelate nini, alafu una feel haijakuhiti. So maybe in such a situation when you have broken up, maybe just to show that kwa hii story yote pia wewe umeumia. Are you also supposed to show remorse?
What I would ask, so who are you showing it for? He drama, because it becomes a drama now that you're doing. It's for the benefit of who?
The situation. It may not necessarily be for someone, but also just managing your situation so that maybe if it's a public relationship, for example.
Okay.
Unajua kuna wale watu wana date privately.
Yeah.
Na hiyo private haujui kama wana date. Si ati unajua ati this one and this one are dating. Like you don't know. So ikiisha pia inaishia huko chini, but then kuna wenye
public
date. It's public. And now it's ending. And you don't want it to look now ugly in public. So maybe now for the public sake, because it is for them also.
My personal view is never do anything for the public. Deal with yourself. Deal with your heart, the relationship, the two of you, because you're the ones who know where you started from, how far you've gone, and why you're breaking up, isn't it? Because you can't, unless now somebody does for you a kind of a public breakup, that that is different. But if it's something where mumeongea whatever, as in it's not working, you deal with your pain, deal with the anger and everything by yourself, processing. Of course, people will know you've broken up, but I don't feel you have to make a show of it, because why are you making a show of it? Was a relationship for show, or was it for the two of you? Because if it's for the two of you, maybe the one who has caused it, atakuwa na much remorse, so that one will recover very fast. But you, who's the heart party, you deal with your heart, withdraw, because it's good also to withdraw, so that you can reconcile, cry. There are some things you have to retreat. You retreat and, pray, ask yourself, where did I go wrong? So don't worry so much about this other person. If this other person has no remorse, you can't control other people. So me, I don't say you deal with you. You're the one who is suffering, and the people around. People will always talk. They'll talk about you today. Tomorrow they'll be talking about somebody else. Usiogope. We talked about.
For you, where of course you're not married. No, just the character develop you. For you now, how do you deal with the heartbreak? So imefika tu mahali, this thing inakuuma. Wacha hata ati story ya kuoga na kurudi soko. Uko at a period hiyo ya kugrieve. How would you now in your perspective deal with the heartbreak?
So ina depend. So unaweza kulia is not the solution. Utalia amekuacha hezi kurudia. So me I find unaweza pata somebody close. Definitely kwa hiyo relationship ulikuwa na mse alikuwa close. So unamuapproach, unamwambia kumeenda hivi na hivi na hivi. I think opening up ina reduce hiyo pain ya kuachwa. But unaweza pata kuna ule mse si umemwacha. Like yes ame feel the pain but huyo mwingine haja feel. Anataka kufanya combo heartbreak. Ndenda ni mchoche, nimrudie, then nimwache. Anaweza sema mimi siwezi waachwa.
Unataka revenge.
Ndio I feel the pain. So me I feel opening up is the best option, then ujaribu kufanya kitu like inakubamba.
So sasa hii opening up. Actually hata hapo kwa opening up. Because now you are hurt, like what kind of message are you putting out about now your ex? Now to the person you're opening up to, are you painting a bad image about her kwa sababu you are hurt? Are you pointing out even the reasons why?
Okay, unaweza sema
tu chenye unafeel.
Utasema the cause of the heartbreak ni hivi, maybe yo best yako anaweza kupeleka ka out, mwende mrelax, like at least your pain juu kinyamaza unaweza fanya ujinga, maybe useme girls are dogs. Kama ni dem inakuanga girls are dog, alafu pia tunasema pia men are dogs. We end up blaming, bado wasa wanapigwa character development. That's why una find msee anakuwa shoga, msee anakuwa lele juu like aja open up, aja find the solution. So using this vitu wenye imekufanya uachwe, like unaweza tumia ka a way of progress to upcoming relationship. Hiyo ndio itakusaidia.
I think pia kuna there's a friend of mine I am sure atawatch podcast. Alikuwa anasema ati alikuwa anataka kuacha mtu. Alafu huyo mtu akamwacha wa kwanza. Ilimuuma.
It was a timing issue.
Ilimuuma sana. Alisikia vibaya. Na yeye alikuwa anataka awachane. So I think nimepick from what you have said, hiyo ya ati unaenda unambembeleza mrudiane, alafu sasa ati ndio muache in terms of like kama ni
isikue ndio umeachwa.
Usikue. Yeah, and I don't know for ladies iko aje, but for men ina feeling mbaya kama wewe ndio umeachwa. Sometimes kama wewe ndio umewachana, it comes out as if you are the one who is in control. So I don't know if ladies have a perspective of that.
I think it's mostly actually just human nature to want to be in control. It's a control issue because you will feel you're the one who now made the decision for the relationship to end. The other person just receives it. So it plays both ways, but I think it also is determined a lot by people's personalities. You know, there are some people who like to be in control. They want to sort of not let things happen to them. They're the ones making things happen. Such people, whether it's a man or a woman, will want to be the one like, no, now I'm the one to say this relationship imeisha. Yule mwingine anabakia akishangaa kwani kuliendaje? Yeah? So it depends. But for me, I would say in such a situation, why were you even dating in the first place? You know, I think a lot of the challenges come because of why did you start dating? Because if you started dating with the intention of, you're not a stranger to me, somebody I've been interacting with, I've seen your character, I've seen the values you have, you look like somebody who I would want to have in my life, right? So you start dating, chances are very few times will you find yourselves in that kind of situation when you're like, we leave the other first, you know, because you are genuine. So unless now something happens, maybe, who knows, the various things that can cause heartbreak. It would have to be something that is not planned. because your intention and the intention of the other person are aligned. Yeah. So I think that's where, when you learn, remember you say you cry, grieve, then it has to be a learning process, because you have to say, what am I learning from this experience I've gone to? Oh, maybe I rushed this. Maybe I was not, even this person I could see from the beginning, maybe I wanted more from this relationship than they. Then you start telling yourself, okay, the next time I now know. So it's a point of learning and self-improvement, I would say.
So in a breakup situation, most of the time, utapata ladies, usually they are the most affected. Maybe dealing with the heartbreak. Okay, I can't claim to know how ladies should deal with a heartbreak, but most of the time, unapata like how ndio it hits most. So how do they guard themselves from maybe people they feel like they could be manipulative to them, and maybe even in terms of, I don't know if people need to prepare just in case, people should just go on with life. Ikikuje. So now, in terms of guarding themselves from such kinds of men, maybe how should they go about it?
Okay, so I would say the first thing is it's good for somebody to know themselves. It starts by self-awareness. Know the kind of person you are, know what your strengths are, what you'd like in a partner. When you know what you want, it becomes easier to find the right person, because the kind of person I am, the kind of partner who would be a good mate for me would be this kind of a person. So it starts by that. Then secondly, we need to also make ourselves aware of red flags. We are so used to looking at the physical, how somebody looks, because that's what attracts you instantly. You see somebody, you're like, yes, but you have no idea the kind of person they are, their character. Unamuona tu na unampenda. It's not really love, yeah? So when you know what to look out for and the things to pick up as red flags, it also makes you empowered. Thirdly, you have to take care of yourself. We have to know that there are people in this world who are not good. I mean, we know the devil will always work through people. So here, you cannot afford to be naive and say, when you meet some very nice looking guy, you're like, oh, now I always like a guy who does X, Y, Z. I like a man who's like this, like this. Somebody will metamorphosize. What is it called? You change yourself and present yourself because you've told them what you want. Kumbe ni game anacheza. Instead of you knowing what you want and looking and seeing, is this person manifesting what so that's part of guarding. So that, and then you be cautious. You go step by step. I can't meet you today and then next month we are dating. 1 month, I don't know you really. Yeah. So trying to take that step by step, because people reveal themselves over time. So you need to be able to have that time to know and then decide, do I want to get to know you?
Na mtu hawezi commit leo na reveal kila kitu yake. Alafu maybe next week mwanzo.
No, I mean human beings, we are complicated, and there are many what you see outwardly is not necessarily what is inward. There are some people who are very open. You meet them, they're an open book. But even them, there are things you cannot know about them in 1 day or 1 week. And that's why we even say when you're dating somebody, be careful about how much you reveal about yourself, your family. And if you're the one who's always saying they're not telling you in return, you also need to be asking yourself, why am I the one always sharing? I'm talking about myself. This other person is not saying anything about themselves. You're talking about your family. You don't know anything. You have to move, together.
Before hata niulize libu na kuna nini kuna nataka kusema. How much, and I don't know if this affects also the decisions that people also make after a breakup.
Okay.
How much should you reveal about yourself to someone? Yenye, if you guys break up, unajua ile siri huwa ameenda nayo ni mbaya. So maybe in that perspective, even from a counseling point of view, not necessarily even for the person who is revealing, but also the person who receive the information. Like how much should they take in? Kujua hii venye tunaenda hivi, this thing is serious, na in case to break up, like mimi najua information yangu yenye unaenda nayo huko nje is bad for me. So maybe
okay. I would say again, before you date, you should be friends. So you start with the, friendship, talking. So these ones are, the things you'll know about each other are light things, what you do, what you like, and so on. But as you get into now, as I was saying, you need to be very aligned. You need to be of the same mind with this person that I think we've been friends. We need to make this, we need to move a step into something more serious. And we are dating with the intention of getting married, right? So that already gives a shift in the relationship, in the nature that you can start to be a bit more open with one another. Before, you are just people who are interacting, friends, the way you can have friends outside. Not everybody has to know. So when you make that shift, and now we are like, I think let's be more intentional, and we see the end point is where? Marriage. And you are both seeing marriage, yeah? So now you start to, of course, open up a bit more. But again, it's not everything, just a bit more about yourself, what you do, and this person equivalently does the same. If they share something, one of them shares something that is deep about them, you'd expect the other person to reciprocate. Because that's what it is in friendship. If I tell you something about what my fears are in life, I would expect you, as my girlfriend or boyfriend, to be able to also share. You see, so you are moving, so you don't find there's one who is over sharing. But still, because we know life is complicated, there are some deep things and deep secrets that you cannot share with somebody who you do not have a commitment with. And that commitment is marriage. Because when you get into marriage, it's for better, for worse. So this is where also premarital counseling comes in. Because when you go for premarital counseling before you get married, those are some of the things that you're able to discuss. And if there are more things that can be revealed, they are revealed. You see, now that's part of now bringing you together. But now you start revealing things when you are still friends. It becomes a problem. I don't know if that has helped.
Yeah, so Limo, in terms of your decisions that people make after a breakup, from your point of view, what would make a man commit suicide?
The investment I may make to the lady. Obviously we'll do everything. Juu siku hizi wanasema mapenzi ni transactional. Pesa ikiisha, they walk out. Ndio hadi siku hizi respect ya wazee imeisha. Unapata
so utabypass wazee juu already uko na pathway.
Hapana, siku hizi competition imekuwa. Kitambo tulikuwa tunaheshimu wazee, but siku hizi unapata demu wako na mzee bwana, unashindwa. Mtu mwenye unafaa kumuita mzee, unafaa kuita baba nani, but ameenda na mtu. So imekuwa transactional.
So depends also pia on vile mtu
invest with the relationship na how far. Alafu pia ina depend, hatuwezi sema the secrets mmeshare. Unaweza pata msee ana any other alternative. Msee alikuwa amechukua huyu dem for better for worse. Mi sina issue mkishare the secrets zenu mkiwa bado in dating. Me I prefer that. Juu unapata the secrets yenye huwezi mwambia during dating, akirealize during marriage, ina cause breakups. So I prefer at least mkuwe genuine. Wewe unasema ni hivi na hivi, kwetu tuko hivi na hivi. Juu utapata we are not talking about relationship, dating relationship heartbreaks. Unapata pia relationships msee ako ashakuwa married but wanaachana. So we are still looking both dating and marriage.
Na sasa unaonanga maybe ukikuwa rejected.
Kama huyu wa juzi alirejectiwa, akajinyonga, akasema huyo ex read the eulogy during the marriage, during the burial, na anazikwa Valentines.
Yeah. Karibu mzee. Nikaji umekuwa geologist.
Geologist.
Yeah, so kuna one hii like rejection ina happen and then I don't know what happens, but maybe in the man's perspective, in the man's mind, the lady stops becoming beautiful. So umepasu and then amekureject, and then now sasa reaction yako ni instant, like we kuenda huko unadhani ni wewe dem peke yake,
inakuanga hivyo,
hata sijui kuna kichwa kubwa nini, so unaona unaanza kuproject. So what is it maybe something that people, I don't know if it's a character issue ama
ni maturity.
Yeah. So does someone stop maybe being beautiful in your eyes? Not generally, of course generally atabaki watu watamuona tu venye walikuwa namuona, but now in your eyes akikukataa anaacha kuwa mrembo.
Unajua ina depend with the angle design amekureject. Unajua mademu wakiwa kwa mbogi wanakuanga so powerful, anataka kujiona mtamu. So dem kama huyo unatafuta somebody better than her, atarudi akutafute.
Another podcast I was watching, kuna mimi naitwanga the way mademu wanakuwa wamejipanga, ati kuna kitu inaitwa grenade, kuna ile inaitwa reke squad. So kama ni ku reject, kuna pia ni shotgun ama ni like mara moja tu utafeel tu umerejectiwa
sniper.
And then kuna hii ya reke squad. Reke squad ni ile yenye hautampata akiwa peke yake. Si anajua unakuja, amejisurround na mabeste wake. Sasa before hata umfikie au mabeste wake wamesha ku diffuse. Unarudi kama ulikuwa na approach yoyote, unatoka ukienda. But essentially I think maybe for our, I don't know, maybe generation, I don't know if it's a generational issue as well. The way we deal with rejection and heartbreaks ndio ina end up hata tuseme hiyo the extreme side ya pia committing suicide. Kama huyu mwenye anazikwa Valentine's Day na anataka mwenye alimreject asome the eulogy. But sasa this heartbreak issue, you know, when we are in a church setup, they teach us a lot about love, about relating with one another. But rarely do we have discussions about even how to navigate issues to do with heartbreaks. And you knowing that your friend amepitia heartbreak, how do you also handle that person? So I don't know, maybe now from a counseling perspective, you have a friend and heartbreak you, what's the approach? Sababu wengine utasikia tu like maybe I may not be sensible. Naenda namwambia imagine usio dem peke yake, utapata mwingine na labda kwake she was everything. So now how do we now, from outside looking in, handle our friends who are going through heartbreaks?
Okay. Okay, let me answer it in 2 parts. Let me first talk about, before the friends, about those heartbreaks. I think maybe people may be exposing themselves to too much, let me say, unnecessary heartbreak, in the sense of you are rushing for serious relationships that are not ready to be serious. Yeah. So there's also that element of maybe you're being premature in this kind of relationship. It's just a casual relationship, but you have overinvested in it alone. Remember, I was talking about being aligned. So that is something where we now say people have to learn to guard their heart. Yeah. Now, your friend comes and, how do you help them when they've gone through rejection? As I said, it's a loss. So there's an element of grieving. So you have to let somebody cry. There will be anger. You have to let people express themselves, and they need to know it is okay to express that. Women are good at offering each other a shoulder to cry on. Men tend to be quite rough. You're like, why are you? It's like you're not there. Your friends are not allowing you to show that vulnerability and the pain that you felt, which is not right. It's important to recognize there's been a loss. You have felt pain. You had invested in this person. It has not worked. So as a friend, allow them and tell them it is okay. Yeah, to feel the way you are feeling. It is very normal. Give them the time, the space. Allow them to talk. Yeah. And now that is where you also now encourage them and remind them, yeah, okay, you had these plans, but, it has not worked out this way. So this is a time to pray and ask God to direct your steps, because you don't know why this heartbreak has happened. You don't know where this person, where you would have ended up. In human eyes, you thought this was what was right for you. But when you submit to God, you'll say, God, I'm really hurting. I'm in pain. Help me, go through that. And then now show me what I can learn from this and help me get the right person for me. Yeah. And then also, as friends, people will be like, you'll get another one, But maybe even somebody, people, not everybody is going to be in a relationship. There are those who will be single, and maybe that's the kind of life they will have. That's also not bad. So when you start telling somebody, maybe they'll decide, for me right now, I don't want to get into a relationship, but their friend is busy saying, get another one and get an even better one. You see, now you're misleading. So I think we need to, as friends, is to hold them, remind them that God loves them, remind them that, yes, it's painful and you have a right to feel the pain, feel it, be angry. But again, remember, we are Christians. Remember, there's who we pour out our pain to, through too. So, God says, he's close to the brokenhearted. He lifts those who are crushed in spirit. When you're rejected, you are crushed. It really will crush you, right? Yeah. Your self-esteem is gone. You're wondering, what did they see that I can see now? What will everybody think? It breaks you. So you take it to God.
Maybe in terms of how people view things, sometimes they see life as a movie, where you're like, huyo ameniumiza. God atadeal na yeye. Atakuja realize that alifanya makosa, and then atarudia, or maybe hata kitu umeachia na umeongelea story ya investment, in terms of what you have put in. It could be emotional or even financial, and someone else comes mbaba venye umesema.
Kwanza beshte yako, hiyo ni uchungu.
Hata tuseme ni beshte yako amekuja, and then wewe you're thinking that what God has in store for me, ati hapa mbele, if alikuwa amekuacha because of money, God anaenda kukubless upate do mingi, alafu ndio yeye penye alienda realize huku kwingine do imekuja, so asikie vibaya pia akiwa
Sikia vibaya na huko.
Asikie vibaya na hiyo side. So there is also that tendency ya ku feel like because you're hurt now,
God will fight for you.
And of course God always fights for you, but pia God sio enemy wa huyo mwenye. God is also loves that other person.
Yeah.
So in as much as he's fighting for you, you're not waiting on God to crush
the other person.
Crush that person ati ndio pia asikie vibaya. And as I end up in a very happy marriage huko. And then wewe bado mbaki in a bitterness, God akikufaitia.
And that's what I was saying. It's important when there's a breakup. People will always want to blame the other person. But you also need to use that time for reflection also for yourself. Kuna vile umecontribute kwa hiyo. In one way or another, there may be. So there's a learning in there for you. Because human nature will want to blame the other person. But use it as an opportunity. Okay, your heart ameenda. So you want, them to be punished. That's the human nature. But you see, when you sit and reflect and use it as an opportunity, you'll start to see maybe things you should have done differently. Maybe there's a way will contribute kwa hii kitu. Maybe there's something you saw and you thought you will ignore. It comes to bite you in the, So at the end of the day, use it as, yes, be annoyed, but jiulize hata mimi, kuna venye, how did I get myself into this situation? And what can I learn so that it doesn't happen to me again? I become a better person, learn now what to look out for. Because there are people out here who are users, and if they see a very nice person, hey, you think they will want to leave you? No. Who doesn't want a nice person in this life? So even the bad people want good people. So you have to, they want to use you. Yeah, so you have to guard yourself. Yeah, and learn from the negative experiences.
So maybe as we wind up on this issue of handling heartbreaks, maybe sasa wakati you have seemingly been rejected, and you want to move on now to someone else. Unajua ulianza a podcast controversial kusema uko na lineup huwa akikataa kando umeendea mwingine. In that sense, there is now even the public image, which I think it's important for you also to guard, but it's also important for you to also move on to someone else. So wakati huyu amekukataa, and then umeendea mwingine within the same circle, because probably most of the people that you're interacting with, like within some circle hapo. How do you navigate like hizo, like unajaribu kukatia hata huwa akikukataa wa pili uendee watatu, but you are also trying to guard your image that isionekane pia ni kama like you are on,
wewe ni kimbi
ama wewe ni fisi, like here kunini watu. How do you probably try and do that?
Okay, kwanza mambo ya love usiweke kwa roho, weka kwa lungs. Hautapata heartbreak. Haitakuwa heartbreak. Unajua heartbreak ni heart alafu unaenda break, kuweka mtu kwa roho. So unajua nasemanga hata mtu mwenye aliunda lights alijaribu ilikuwa 999 times. Alafu pia tuliambiwa kwa Bible hakuna mse, not everyone will marry. Alafu bado tunaambiwa ratio is 1:7.
But unajua hiyo ratio 1:7 actually this is my thing. Yeah. Wakisema ati the ratio of men to ladies ni 1:7. Remember kwa our 7, your sisters are there.
Sikatai.
Your parents are there. Your cousins. Kuna watu wenye wako jail. Kuna wenye wako maybe in a mental hospital, kuna wenye maybe those who are not set for marriage, when they have decided to be celibate.
Umesawa kukudenza.
But you see now, those are the outliers. Unaona? So it probably may not, it doesn't probably paint the whole picture. Ati there are 7 women out there waiting for you to pick.
Okay, but definitely kuna mwenye atakupenda. Okay, pia unajua point of correction. So amesema ati hauwezi ona msee na umpende. Yake hajapata mtu mwingine, but yake, so yako love at first sight ni scam.
No, what I meant it's, you can't call it love. What you will call it is lust. Yeah? Or, just you like somebody so much, but love, you can't see somebody and say you love them. You're loving what you are seeing, but we are more than our physical. Outward. You need outward, eh? And when you read the Bible, what does the Bible say? And that's one of the verses I wanted to read. Eh? Let me read it. Hata iko hapa nilikuwa nimeandika.
Unajua nasemanga vitu zina attract, like terms attract. So unajua one of your rib iko missing. So maybe you're attracted to them because hiyo ni rib yako.
Unaiona immediately, yes. Ina connect.
Maybe hiyo tunaitanga kismat.
When you say love at first sight.
Yeah. It's like at first sight.
Is it when someone tells you they love you at first sight? Is it now? Could it be true that it's love at first sight, but it's you now the physique, and not you the person?
Yes.
So that also.
Yeah, that's what I would say. When you say I love, you see, love is what your eyes have seen. I love that. There are things you see, you're like, I love this, but it's the outward appearance, which is part of this person, but it is not the whole person. Yeah. So
it's an aspect.
It's an aspect, and it's the one that draws you first, because you will not really want to know more about somebody unless, of course, there's that physical attraction. So there's the physical first. You're like, then you want to get to know more. Inaanzanga hivyo. Yeah. Even when I met my husband, it was the physical first, and then now you're like, oh, that guy, okay, and then now unaanza
all of you like ilikuwa tu hivyo.
Yenu mlikuwa na tips.
Ati tulikuwa na
tips. Mlikuwa mnatumia live language.
No, basically, in summary, what it is you have to, you would never, the physical starts and attracts, and then now with time you get to know this person, know how they are. So that's, I'm like, that process, where's he skip? If you go too fast, that's how you run into heartbreak, because you've loved somebody because of how you saw them, but the person is a totally different person, the way they behave and all that is not, then you get one heartbreak. Aya, ukijump hapo, unaenda nyingine. Are you seeing how you are not taking time to discover that, oh, I should have taken time. Next time I need to be a friend. Kwanza nianze kujua ni mtu mgani hivyo. So una line up heartbreaks because of how you jump. And then also there's this thing of, you can't approach one girl and then now akikukataa unaenda kwa friend yake. You also have to be organized as a person. What do you want? Is it that you just want to be in a relationship? Ama you are liking that person because of who they are? You could just be wanting to have a relationship to tick a box. I remember when I was in campus, there's a guy who approached me, but he had approached my friend first. So of course I never gave him a second. Iliisha hapo.
Who could develop?
No, but sasa na yeye alianza na friend yangu alafu you start with me first. Then
but sasa daktari. Yeah. Kama ameanza na friend yako. And then sasa atakuona.
Alafu anakuja ananiona.
Alafu.
Hiyo that was not meant to be.
So ulimuone.
It was not meant to be. You see, I think in reality, we also have to know in life, there are people you will meet, you will like, but you'll never develop into anything. Yeah? You will like them, they are good people, but that's chemistry, it'll never, and it is okay, because you can be good friends. But if you imagine everybody you see you must have a relationship with, you go wrong. But if you're like, this one is a good friend, and you understand each other, you have, maybe if you are schooling together or you are like here in fellowship together, you are just good friends. It doesn't go beyond that. That is okay. Kuna yule itaenda beyond and then you, but of course, as we are saying, have that plan. Both of you want to get into that relationship and end up in marriage. What I wanted to say about love, because sometimes we get confused. 1 Corinthians 13 will always remind us what love is. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. If you see somebody on day one, you will never be able to know. It's a process. That's when you can start to see this. Of course, we are not perfect as human beings. We are striving. But, somebody who is working towards this, you'll be able to tell as you go through with time. Day one, utaona tu anakaa mzuri. Haujui kitu kingine.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. Yeah.
Yes.
Najua unaweza trust process na ikuwe heartbreak.
No, but unaenda pole pole. You're trusting the process and you are guarding your heart.
So your process ni hiyo kama ukiwa na 1 to 7. You are trusting the process, kwa hiyo hour 7 utapata mmoja. No. 1 is your lucky number.
Huyu anataka kwenda one after the other like that.
I think, okay, maybe for me, this conversation, we have it a lot in terms of, we usually have what we call Esther's and Joshua's.
Yes.
And it's something that maybe we never get to conclude upon, but also I think different people have different ways of dealing with heartbreaks. Yeah. But it is also good to listen to how others are doing it, in as much as yours is also unique. Not everyone is heartbroken the same way. Not everyone feels heartbroken the same way.
True.
So however it hits you, there's always a way out in terms of how you deal with it. So maybe for me, I would want to ask each of you maybe to say something relating to the topic on how to deal with heartbreaks to the audience as we conclude. But of course, we would want the audience to always ask us questions, even on the chat section, so that we can also compile all these questions. If we find maybe a question is worth having a podcast discussion on it, we also hopefully invite you guys back so that we continue to break it down, not the heart. Yes. So maybe what would you want the audience to know about dealing with heartbreak?
Dealing with heartbreak. Okay. I'd say it's a hazard in life. As long as you are living and you love, you can always get heartbroken. The question becomes how you will deal with that and how you will guard your heart, even as you get into subsequent relationships. And even if you've not gotten your heart broken, how you can guard yourself now so that you don't break it. You get it broken because of circumstances that may be within or without your control. So one, it's a loss, so it is okay to grieve, and please do cry. Yeah, there'll be anger to process, of course, do that. But also take time to reflect and figure out how did you contribute to the situation you're finding yourself in, because it becomes an opportunity for self-improvement, continuous learning, yeah? And then, of course, prayer. God is the one who helps heal our heartbreak, yeah? So you'll be crushed in spirit. God is there. We say he's close to us. Again, we should not be anxious, yeah? Because we said, the Bible tells us, do not be anxious, in everything. Yes. So don't worry about where will my next partner come from, my next girlfriend. No. Pray and ask God to guide you and to give you wisdom and to know how you can get to know the right person for you so that you're guided. Because in your mind, if you know, I'm looking for this kind of a person, this is what is important for me. These are my non-negotiables in a person. You will eliminate so many people. You won't have heartbreak because you'll see somebody coming, you'll be like, yes, you're good, you look good, but there's something in you for me that's a non-negotiable. And so let's just remain friends. We can't move to the next. So that I would encourage us being very clear about non-negotiables, knowing also red flags. Before you get that far, there are some red flags that start showing so early, but because you are blinded and because maybe everybody around you has a boyfriend and a girlfriend, you also want to still stay with your boyfriend and girlfriend who has so many red flags, eventually it's going to end in heartbreak. So when you start to see, you need to be able to say, hapa, hey, let me guard my heart. Wacha nijitoe tu haraka before niumie. Yes. So and then finally being able to talk. Counseling is there. Yeah. To be able to go through this heartbreak. If you have heartbreak, yes, it's painful and people process pain differently. Some it hits them a lot harder, others recover quickly. That is the nature of human beings. So getting help is important. So seek counseling, seek the support, and you have somebody who will walk with you that journey, and you find yourself, now you are really, you know what you are looking for when you get into the next relationship. So I think that's how I would wrap it up. Yeah.
Right. Wrap like Maui.
For me, character development lazima utapigwa. There is no any other alternative when you utahepa character development. It's upon you and there is no perfect match. Ati wanasemanga ati wako ata fall from heaven. Na ukicommit suicide si ati utakuwa umemkufia.
No, it's true.
So like ukipigwa hii kitu kaa ngumu, like just open up.
Yeah.
Hii mambo ni ya dunia. You leave the flesh. Hata akiringa akureject, yeye ni mchanga, atawacha huko, tutaona huko juu. So mimi okay. Kwa wale watu kama mimi tumepigwa character development. Let's pull up our socks to change game plan. Ukirejectiwa manze kaa ngumu, lakini like for mimi usema mademu evolve. Juu ukicheki scenario lenye situ mababu zetu, mse hakukuwa na viatu, amevaa manguo imeraruka, but unapata dema anamkufia. Na unapata alikuwa na mademu wawili. Naweka question mark saa hii, wewe unavaje iPhone na una mtu? Okay. Ukivaa Air Force wanasema una force issues. Peace, niyo ndio niko nayo.
Kwa hivyo basically ukiachwa, don't force. Take care of yourself, love yourself, usijiumize because of somebody else. Please no.
So thank you so much for joining us this day, and see you in the next one.
Peace.